God, whose notifications are there?
Andrew.
Andrew.
Always.
He doesn't know how to mute it.
Hello, Andrew. How long are you doing YouTube?
We are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to what could be absolute chaos. Who hasn't muted it?
Oh,
Derek.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to.
I've got mine off anyway.
Oh, what a start.
Is it me?
Yeah,
Derek
I'm
is
muted. I think so, yeah.
There we go.
Hey.
start that again. Hello, welcome to this video. This is episode 2 of what we're calling Reseller Lads. It's just a bunch of reseller YouTubers getting together to hang out and talk about stuff. The format I've chosen to do is we're all going to talk about a specific item or niche, hopefully share a little bit of information about that item or niche and how to resell it, hints and tips if we've got any. And that's going to be the plan, really. So we're going to go down the line and each chat about some stuff. So we are live. If you're joining us live, you can pop in and say hello, as I can see loads of people are. If you've got any questions about the items as they come up, you can put them in. We'll try and get to questions if we see them. So I'm going to run down the line and we can do a quick hello. I'll start with Steve. How are you, Steve?
Hello, Nick. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, it's been a while. How's it going?
Good.
So yeah, do you want to mention your channel and stuff and just say a quick hello?
Oh yeah, I'm Steve, your favourite Steve from the Steve Green Adventure. Hello. Yeah. I'm not sure what else to say. You've got way too many people to go through.
That'll do. And then we've got Pete. Do you want to say a quick hello, Pete?
Yeah, hello everyone. From Peter Ray's Adventures. That's really about it.
That's cool.
Yep.
As I was saying before, I haven't had a chance to put links, but once this video has gone up on my channel, I will link everyone's channels below so you can find them. We're on you now, Andrew. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks, Nick. Hi, everyone. I'm Andrew from Money Mental UK, the channel dedicated to money and mental health.
Fantastic. Hey, George, how you doing?
Hey, Nick. Should be a lot smoother today. I'm George Ross, and I've had to spend 80 quid this week on a new webcam because of last week.
It looks and sounds better. So, yeah, got a lovely shiny forehead there.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And then we've got Derek. How are you, Derek?
Hey, I'm good, thanks. My name's Derek. I've got a YouTube channel called Tap Peddler.
Okay, fantastic. And we've also got Corey with us. How are you?
I am super good. I'm really excited for the stream, actually. I am Corey, otherwise known as Power Reselling on YouTube, or corey.j.journey on Instagram, I think. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to the stream. I think it's going to be fun.
Fantastic. Glad you could make it. And then we've got Scrooge on the end there. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm Ads Resells on YouTube, and yeah, the hat says it all, really.
Do you want to explain what's going on there, or should we just leave it hanging?
It's more interesting leaving it hanging.
Okay, fantastic. Right, so if I just put it back onto me. So as I said before, if you're just joining us, the format of this is we're all going to talk about a little bit of a niche that hopefully we know something about, or we have a little bit of information to share. Should I start, or does somebody particularly want to go first?
No, I think as your host, you can start, Nick.
Shall I? Okay, I wanted to talk about 8mm projectors. It's something I've got a little bit of history in. I was a film student. I actually made my degree film on a Super 8 vintage 1960s camera and used the projector equipment. It's something I've picked up and sold since I started reselling back in the 90s. It's not necessarily for the faint-hearted. And what I'm talking about, I'll show you quickly. This sort of thing. So this is a Chinon, good brand to look out for. And it's back in the days of technology where you had like cine film, basically. But this was cine film for home use. It's tiny 8mm film. Let's see if there's one in here. Here we go. And it's had a bit of a revival again. I mean, all sort of vintage photographic techniques are having a bit of a revival. So it's worth looking out for. What I wanted to point out is there's a couple of issues that are quite common with these. The bulbs can go, and they are sometimes not cheap to pick up, but more common. And it's similar with cassette players. I'm sure some of you guys have had this, that the belts will go. These had rubber drive belts, and these are from the 60s and 70s. So they're virtually all perished. So that you may have to replace. You can get belts for this one. I think a spare belt on eBay is about £3. So it's not the end of the world, but you have to be prepared to open this thing up and swap out a manky old rotten belt for a new one. So things to look out for makes wise. UMIG is good. I've got a UMIG here. This isn't the high end one. This will probably fetch me about £40, but I got a pair of these at a jumble sale for £5 for the pair. So still a bit of money in it. Some UMIG ones can go up into the hundreds. If you search 8mm projector and then do by highest first, you'll see that there are certain brands and certain models that go into the hundreds, 200s plus. If you get one that's got a sound function, that will add a lot of value to it. Agfa can be good. Prinz, P-R-I-N-Z is a good brand. Bolex, very good as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I can give you a closer look at this one. Ooh, this is as heavy as you like. Built like a tank, these things. So there you go. You will find them quite regularly. And like I say, if you're prepared for what could be used, that the belts may be gone, the bulbs may be gone, you might have to fiddle around with them. Then they're not light. Despite all of that, I think they're worth picking up. So that's what my little niche was. I don't know if there's any questions coming in, but it's something you will see. I would say if you do see one, I would look it up, because some are, I mean, these are all about £40 to £50 ones. Some will be even less than that. So check it on your phone if you've got the time. But if it's a £5, I'd take a chance.
Are they a night meta package, Nick?
Sorry, what was that, Steve?
Are they a night meta package?
Not really. Usually, if you find them boxed, they will have their poly in.
Ah, the original.
Yeah, because they were so expensive and they were, you know, they're from the 60s. People tended to keep them in the packaging. You know what I mean? Because it was such an investment. They weren't such a throwaway society. I mean, all three of these have got their boxes and they're like 40 or 50 years old. So that shows you something. So that I'd just tape up and send. So they're not too bad.
I would add to that, don't be afraid to change the belts and use YouTube as your friend. I had a Walkman a couple of weeks ago. I didn't have a clue what I was doing, but there's like 10 YouTube videos step by step how to do it. And now I've got a 50 quid Walkman now.
Yeah, changing the belts isn't too hard. I just thought it was worth putting out there that also, if you can test it and you can put in your listing tested and fully working, that will change it from perhaps a £30 machine to a £60, £70 machine. People don't want to buy this as untested. They won't buy it, or you'll get way, way less. People want to buy this and know it is functioning and it's been tested, but that involves a fair bit of work. So just be prepared. So there you go. That was my little niche. It's something I'm still quite passionate about. I love the old technology. Like I said, I used it at university and thoroughly enjoyed it. It's great technology. So if I go down the line as I see it, that means we've got Steve up next.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Go.
Right, hello, everyone. I think last week, us as lads kind of buried clothing sellers. Nobody really talked about clothing last week. So I thought I would talk about a T-shirt that I picked up a few weeks ago. You know, give a little bit of advice on what to look out for. And I don't know, when I first started doing reselling, I never looked on clothes racks because the thought of going through T-shirt after T-shirt of clothing, or you know, boxes of clothing, stuff like that in car boots and charity shops, I just didn't want to do it. But as I've started doing reselling, I don't drive. Clothing has become my main thing to pick up. There's just so much of it. But going through the T-shirts, I've noticed recently there's like things in there which you wouldn't, like charity shops would label up for £1 or £2, and they're worth like 30, 40, and 50. The one that I've got at the minute is worth £80, which I was surprised. It's an old 1990s Nirvana top. I picked it up from a clothes rack. It only cost me, I think it was £2. It hasn't sold yet, to be fair, but I've got it listed at the minute for about £80. I have had a few questions. I've got a few watches. I think one of them is Lex, because she has sent me like a £2.50 offer on it.
I was going to say, I'm surprised Lex hasn't bugged you to give it to her or something.
Yeah, she's been on at me to give it to her for free. Yeah. So it's just a thing. Don't be afraid to go through those clothing racks, because there are some gold mines there with some really big money in clothing racks.
How do you know that's vintage? How would you tell that's vintage, as in like a modern repro?
Oh yeah, it's the label. There's a label that I don't know if I'm showing that now. It's called the Rocks. So it's the ROXX. When you look up that brand, the money varies, but on certain bands, the tops are going for like over £200 and stuff like that. The one thing I would say is avoid anything that's got like, I can't pronounce it, but it's GILDAN, Gildan.
Yeah.
Because they're all remakes and stuff like that. But anything where it's like an old, I've picked up like House of Blues t-shirts from the 90s and 80s recently, and they're just on these clothing racks that nobody would look at. Like I didn't look at for years, and there's some gems in there. So yeah,
good one. Yeah, band shirts are fantastic. I've bought and sold many over the years, and sometimes it's the more obscure the better. I mean, obviously the big bands like Queen, Nirvana, all that stuff will always have a market, but bands you've never heard of, don't be scared to pick them up anyway.
Queen are the greatest band in history, as we all know.
Nobody's arguing. Okay. Is anyone on a time limit? Does anyone want to go earlier if they've got a dash at some point, or should I just work down the line?
I'm good.
I'm all right. Yeah, good. Working down the line's fine for me.
That means you're up then, Pete.
Yep, that's fine. Yep. Hi, everyone. I'm going to talk about. Right, let's talk about tripods. Recently, something I've recently got into getting tripod. This tripod here is a Boa tripod. I got it at 50p a few weeks ago at the car boot.
Wow.
I reckon there's no completed and sold, so I should be aiming about between 15 and 40 for this particular tripod. So basically, this sort of like tripod, they do fold up. Do be aware that if you're looking at other tripods, they are a lot heavier and that sort of thing. But this one, as you can see, it comes out, and then what you can do is you can put the legs. You've got these type of legs. You can actually make it a lot taller. It's for people like when you're doing filming outside or other types of things. Also, you can also fit like DSLR cameras. Like I've got a Sony DSC HX400V, and that's quite a big camera. On the top, you've got like a little screw, and it fits like the little screw ones. Also, this Boa is. So
sorry, Pete, would you use that as a keyword then? DSLR camera, maybe in the title?
DSLR camera. I'll pop in a tripod. I'll pop in like photography, that sort of thing. Because a lot of people who do photography take these type of tripods. If because normally like they like the big ones, bigger tripods. Also, this one, if I can remember how it's done. Oh, there. It does also. Let me just get up. Extend a bit more, so you can extend it quite a high range, and obviously you can put it that way. Also, because obviously Boa is quite a average one. I will just quickly go and say, I can put that one down. Is what you want to look out for is stuff like Manfrotto ones. I've just got my one here to show you the brand. They got some really good ones on eBay, going for like £100-200 plus.
Are they the really big, chunky ones? Though the big, heavy ones, like Zahir had a couple of years ago?
Yeah. They like if you're thinking of getting into it, just realise that they can be really, really heavy. So you have to look into alternative ways to ship them. But they can, like this one, if you think about with this one, they do sort of a fold down, so you get like little bags with them and that sort of thing. So yeah, just quickly say Manfrotto, I think it is a good brand to look out for.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's it. Anyone got any questions?
Yeah, that's fantastic. I didn't see any come up. Thailand Heron is agreeing about Manfrotto being a brand to look out for. I know Zahir's mentioned it.
I've got a question for you, Peter.
Righto.
How easy are these things to package up? Because, you know, I imagine the legs can come loose in transit. Yeah. It's like...
Well, if you're just doing like smaller ones like this, then obviously this is pretty simple. But if you're getting into really massive, heavy, old vintage type ones, then it can be quite a sort of a hard thing to kind of package. But it's sort of a kind of a niche you've got to kind of look into to see how you're going to package it and kind of ship it.
Just seeing...
packing it, it'll be badly.
Fair enough.
So here's just said Manfrotto is high-end brand. I've sold tripods of theirs for £200.
Yeah, that's what I was looking up earlier.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Cheers for that, Pete. That means we have Andrew up next. What are you going to share with us, Andrew?
Hello. Hi, everyone. Don't forget to subscribe to Money Mental UK, folks. Right. I have got games.
Oh, now we're talking.
Yes. I always say to new resellers who are sort of struggling for things to pick up for little money, look at your games. So I picked up a sample of 3 games here, 3 PlayStation 1 games, all of which, apart from Castlevania, actually, only one of them will go in large letter, but normally you can send these large letter. You'll see these all the time. PlayStation 1 games particularly popular, although I'd probably recommend staying away from sports titles. Some of them have got money, some haven't. You pick these things up for 50p or £1, they can be worth some really good money. So we take some examples here of the 3 I've picked out randomly. We've got Tenchu 2 here, that cost £1. That's going for about 20 quid on eBay at the minute. So a nice little return on there, and that'll go as a large letter. £1, can't remember, it's £1.32 to ship it now. Whack it in a jiffy bag, job done. Then we've got Dragoon. This was £1 again. I've no idea if this is coming up on the camera.
Yeah, it's fine.
This is worth about £60 to £70 at the minute on eBay. So a good collector's market for these sort of things. Yeah, that was £1 again. So epic profit there. And then we've got Castlevania.
You're showing off now.
Not only Castlevania, this is the Symphony of the Night limited edition.
We were cracking the back.
Yeah, the cracks on the collector's market, Peter. I'll just swap it with another case.
Yeah, fair enough.
This cost £1 again. The last one to tell and buy it now went for 325 quid. So from 3 quid there, we've got what, 3-4? We've got about 400 quid's worth of profit. So well worth looking at your retro gaming market. At the end of the day, if it's only spending 50p or £1 on an item, it doesn't really matter if there's much value in it or not, because you haven't lost a huge amount. And eventually you will start picking up ones that are worth more and more money. And the 10 a penny, you see them in the charity shops, car boot sales, all over the place. It's a popular market, but as I've just shown there, you can still pick up some gems and make some really good money from it.
Yeah, that was a stunning find. Are they listed at the moment?
No, I only just pulled them out to list today.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, do you put international shipping on? And if you don't, you should do, yeah. Because the collector's market for video games is truly global. And some things that may not be worth a great deal here, you could get a lot of money from Australia, particularly in the PAL market, because they're PAL region as well. A lot of big collectors in the US are collecting UK issue stuff. So put your own shipping on and you'll be surprised what people will pay.
Definitely. It's funny you should mention that, because I sold a copy of Settlers 2 big box edition for 25 quid to Sweden yesterday.
Yeah, You remember I had a stack of those a while back. Most of those went abroad to the Netherlands and South America. The big box stuff was going. And they were paying more for shipping than the item in some cases.
Yeah.
It's nuts. Okay, well, cheers for that. Get those listed. What are you waiting for? Next, as I see it down the line, is George. Hey, George.
Hi again. I got to stand up for mine. It's a bit big. There we go.
Lads.
Blimey.
We have a restaurant / pub.
Yes, this is what I want to see.
They're totally George Ross, yep.
Here we go. It's quite heavy, isn't it?
I missed that. What did you say it actually was?
It's from like a restaurant or cafe because it's Mickey and Minnie, and that's where you put your drinks. Hang on. There we go. Nice cold drinks. It's made of solid woods, obviously handcrafted, made specifically for that cafe or restaurant. Yeah, it cost me 20 quid on Sunday, yesterday. This is one of them things I name my price.
I was going to say that the trick with that then, or the difficult bit is working out how high you can go. I know you've got that other sign up for over £1,000, is it? The metal sign?
Yeah, that's a slightly different market because that's 30s. This is more sort of probably 80s, but it can appeal to sign collectors, Disney collectors. Yeah, I literally don't know what to list it for.
Okay. So you haven't decided on a price yet?
No, it'll go up and up and up. Probably start sort of maybe 220, take offers, something like that.
Wow.
Obviously not scared of a packaging challenge. So
would there be any issue because it's Disney, but it can't be an official thing if it's a one-off? Yeah. Do you think there'll be an issue with that?
Maybe, but
I mean, would you put Disney in the title? That's the question, I guess.
Yeah, it's obviously not. No, it's like a handcrafted thing. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's an interesting question, though, isn't it? Because clearly it's on an unofficial product.
Yeah. No idea.
But then I know you. Sorry, I know you do Facebook as well, and you do have some success on Facebook. So you could always, if that is an issue with eBay, and I'm not saying it is, you could always use Facebook to sell it that way.
There's loads of Disney collectors groups on Facebook as well, aren't they? I sell in those and get better prices than I do on eBay. You know, taking into account the lack of fees and such like.
Yeah, I've sold a couple of bits like Disney on Facebook. So if it does get pulled down from eBay for whatever reason, I've got backup options. There's Etsy as well, Vinteria. But yeah, didn't think about that.
Yeah, it may not be an issue, George. I was just thinking off the top of my head because clearly it's an unofficial and they've just copied those images. From
exactly. Yeah.
But you'd probably be fine. But yeah, I don't know.
When it comes to being in the fields, the only bit of advice I could suggest is if you like it, if you think it's cool, like I instantly said, wow, that I need that. The chances are out of the 7 billion people in the world, someone else will think exactly the same, but with more money than you, and they'll pay up for it. Yeah, that's all I can really suggest, really, to look out for. Just, if you like it, and someone else should like it as well.
Definitely. No, it's an interesting item. And I know you like to go for the unique and unusual. Yeah. It's great. It contrasts a lot with the sort of stuff I tend to go for, which is fantastic.
Exactly. And there's not going to be, I haven't looked it up, but I'm doubting there's going to be any like competition or anything. So that goes in my favour as well.
Absolutely.
George.
Yep.
George, how would you package that, or who would you send it with if you had to send it?
How? I've got me large Jiffy bubble wrap, so whack that round. Big TV cardboard boxes or bike boxes, like flatten that out, wrap that round, black pallet wrap, and that will probably go with parcel force, probably only like £9 or £10. And I've got the international depot like 5-minute drive away. So yeah, sort of packaged the same as a trolley. They fold flat and sort of tall. Yeah, it shouldn't be too much of a hassle.
Yeah, cool.
Yep. Okay, fantastic. Cheers for that, George. Working down the line, we are at Derek. Hey, Derek, how you doing?
Oh yeah, yeah. If anybody's seen my channel, you've probably seen my hauls and my sales updates where I sell a lot of these boomboxes. I was thinking of this is a Hitachi one I bought at the weekend, and I've got a smaller one there, which is a Sony, and the last one I was going to show is this one.
Oh wow, that is epic.
It's a massive thing from the. I should rest it on my shoulders, shouldn't I?
Yeah, I can see Derek looking down the street with that.
Yeah.
On your shoulders.
I should only play 90s hip hop.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, Run DMC, Eric
Yeah.
B. and Rakim.
That's right. So the Hitachi will probably sell for about £30.
So where are you picking these up, Derek? Do you mind me asking?
Yeah, well, this one came from auction, the big one. That came from an auction. Cost me quite a lot of money, actually. And I haven't listed it yet. But these, it's a Sharp GF 9000 model. So they usually go for between 300 and 1,000. So this one's, it fully works. I've tested it, but it needs a really good clean. I think I need to repair the battery compartment if I want to fetch a really good price on it.
So what did you invest in that, if you don't mind me asking that?
Just over 200. So
Wow.
it's quite a lot. Although I do consider it paying up on it because I got a bit of auction fever. But I did get quite a few other parts of electricals with the same lot. So
did you buy that?
50.
Sorry, did you have a chance to test that before putting down £200 on it, or was it sold as seen at the auction?
Sold as seen,
Wow.
which is quite a risk at the time. But as I say, it came with some other auction stuff as well. Came with some separates, which I've since sold. I've had this for about 6 months now. Yeah, so when you're looking at things at the boot sales or at auctions, I would say to check the buttons are all there, because they can come off of the sliders, so you just end up with a little sort of thing sticking out from the case where the actual button's missing. So need to make sure that they're all there, and check the aerial as well. Check the aerial's all intact, and check the speaker visually if you can. I mean, this one's quite good because you can actually see the speaker cone, but some of them you just can't see the speaker. But if you can, check those, because just in case they've been poked with a pen or pin or something. Check the battery compartments, because often they have leaky batteries in, which was the case with this Sharp one. So I've got to replace the springs, but you can buy them on eBay for probably about £3 or £4 for that model. So,
and I'm guessing, particularly with the vintage big one that you're just holding up, if it's completely faulty, there's still going to be a market to some extent for props, etc.
Yeah, they go for about 150 non-working.
Wow.
But I guess it all depends on what's actually faulty, because I guess a lot of people will want to fix them. That's another thing I was going to mention, same as you with the projectors, is the belts can just rot away. So what I do, because I sell quite a lot of these, I buy a little bag of belts. So I've got thousands of little belts here, all different sizes. So I can use them on things like this and things on Walkmans and things.
That's a good idea. Was that a seller who sells them as a bundle, a job lot of different sizes?
Yeah, they just come from China. I think that was like pound delivered or something.
Oh, okay. You'll have to send me the link to that. I might grab a bunch of those.
Yeah, they're useful to have, especially if you're picking up electricals all the time.
So I was going to say, are there any particular brands that are worth looking out for, particularly when we're talking about the vintage ones? What would you say?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Sony is like the good brand. There's also Sharp, which is good. I think I've had a few others. What's it?
Panasonic good?
Panasonic can be good. They're a bit hit and miss. It's all based on the model numbers, really. Hitachi can be good. Yeah, but I have. I mean, this was quite a one-off for me. The really expensive one. I usually get them. They sell for about 40 to 60. But yeah, when you also testing them, another thing these vintage ones can be, they can end up with a lot of smoke on them from the the 70s where everybody was smoking in the houses. They can be caked in cigarette smoke. So you can clean the outside with Ajax and baby wipes and all of that, but the actual heads in the machines can get caked in it as well. So you've got to get in with some Q-tips and use the alcohol, pure alcohol, to get rid of the smoke on there, and keep some spare tapes for testing. They're always useful to have.
Oh, I've got to know, what is your go-to tape of choice for testing then, or is it just a random
I was
list?
just meant to ask that question.
Yeah, I've got a beautiful tape which has a load of Andrew Lloyd Webber stuff on.
Really?
That's
That's not very cool.
And I've got
I've got
what's this? The animals went in 2x2. This is
You've got this classic boombox playing Andrew Lloyd Webber and the animals going 2x2. Wow.
I've
But
got Chaz and Dave's street party.
In better.
I've got a Transformers audio tape.
Yeah. But I've got loads of tapes hanging around, so I just use whatever's closest to hand, really. But I always make sure I generally use the same tapes as I know that works, because otherwise you could be testing something that's blank, and not realizing it's not working.
Yeah. Somebody else was asking for the link to those belts. If I get it from Derek, I'll share it below the video. Where we can source those. Okay, fantastic. Was there any other hints or tips before we move on?
Just when you're listing it, take photos of all angles, and the main thing I would say when you're listing these sort of things is make sure you weigh it and know what your postage cost is going to be, because things like that's going to be quite expensive to send, especially if it goes for quite a lot of money. You want to insure it and stuff. Right.
And do you ship those worldwide? Is there an international market, or does it tend to be domestic?
Yeah, I send quite a lot GSP. They usually go to Europe, probably because of the power, I guess. But I know the Sharp one, the person who got the top end, that was a GSP sale, I think, if I remember rightly. It was about 6 months ago when I did the completed search. I think somebody's selling one now. I think they've got it on there for £1,000 or best offer.
Wow.
Which is probably top end, really. But I think sort of 700 and 800 is probably quite achievable. But it would really need to be cleaned up and made really nice to get that.
Fantastic. All right, brilliant. Moving on, we have Corey. Good to see you, Corey.
Good to see you too. So everyone's pickups so far has definitely made me look like a bit of a weenie. I don't think mine are anywhere near as interesting as what everyone else has been showing. I also wanted to saw Seller Ladies Live is back Friday at 1 p.m. on Karen's channel. For those that don't know, that's like the female version of the lads, and it was going before us. So
yeah, it's the original and probably much better version of what we're attempting here. So yeah, please go and check that out.
I was going to say they're a lot better than us.
A bit more organized as well. So the item that I was going to show, I'm actually sending this one up to Amazon. I thought I'd try and add like a little bit of diversity into it, and it is a little Go-Go's board game. There is a reason why I picked this up, and there's a reason why I wanted to show it. It's not like the most profitable item that I've picked up this week. I think I paid a $5 for it, and after fees on FBA, I think it sells for like 22, 23. So it's not like a major profit or anything like that. But the reason why I picked it out was because since I've been reselling, I've never came across any Go-Go's figures, any like Go-Go's anything. I'm not sure if any of you even really know what they are. They were very popular when I was a kid in primary school, and it was also the first thing I ever started to sell. We had like a little school like fete type thing.
So can you make me feel old now? When were you in primary school?
Oh, you put me on the spot. I could not tell you.
Which decade?
2000.
Early 2000s, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, blimey.
Okay, it's the 1970s for me. Anyway, carry on.
1970s. Jesus.
I'm that old.
But yeah, so I remember the first time that I ever got some of them was at a school fete. And I just kept buying them and kept buying them. Everyone who was running the stalls were kids as well. So they were selling them for like 5p each. And I remember I had so many and I brought them all in the day afterwards. And people kept asking me if they could buy them for me. And they were going to give me like £1 per figure. And I was super up for it because I paid like pennies for all of them. So I kept selling them. About 2 months later, I had almost ran out. And I remember being in the shop with my mum and I saw a pack of 3 of them. And a pack of 3 was only £1 each. And that was when it clicked in my head. And I was like, so I could buy a pack of 3 of them for £1 and I can sell each one for £1 each. It was just kind of like, it was my first ever experience in reselling. And I was in primary school and there's a very sentimental feeling to it. So as soon as I came across this, I almost feel like if it wouldn't have made like barely any profit, I probably still would have picked it up more for the sentimental value of it and for the fact that I can actually say that I flipped something that I used to flip when I was a lot younger, if that makes any sense at all. But like I said, it kind of makes me look like a bit of a weenie in comparison to Derek's manly boombox. But yeah, I thought I would pull that one out. So
I was going to ask, if people watching this are thinking, okay, Go-Go's, is that something to look out for? Because I'm sure I've seen them in little pots on boot sale. So if you saw a little pot with, let's say, 30 or 40, and would you pick them up used, not sealed, as that game is? Is there a market for that as well?
I'm going to be honest, I haven't done a major amount of research into it, but I know that there are figures that are a lot more desirable than other ones, but I don't think they're at like that process yet where they're kind of like retro and vintage. I think when my generation who had them in school maybe get into like 25, 30, maybe 35, I think that's when they'll start to build a bit more in popularity, but I don't want to guarantee anything.
Right. I think it's kind of like the Pogs of the decade before, and it's kind of, you know, it's going to be one of those when like you say, people are getting nostalgic for the 2000s as it is.
Yeah.
They might be looking for them.
Don't take that as me saying go out and spend like £1,000 on them because it's a good investment, because they could be worth absolutely nothing. So it's very sentimental to me. That's why I picked it up.
Yeah, that's cool. I think one for the future, definitely. Okay, we're coming to the end of the line here with Adam. Hey, Adam.
So I didn't know about the whole show and tell thing for till about 5 minutes before the show.
So you thought you'd just dress up and come on as Scree?
Well, I kind of planned that already, but I didn't do that anyway. But I'm going to talk about papers. Now, old newspapers are completely overlooked, and I got a job lot from the auction house for £10 plus commission, and I've listed over £400 worth of papers, and I've since sold about £130, £140 worth of those. Wow. This one here is 1965. It's a Churchill one. It's not valuable, really. Maybe lucky to get about a tenner out of it. But some of the ones that I've actually had, one that was to do with John Lennon getting shot, and certain ones from different celebrities can do 20, 30, 40 pounds, something like that. And then if you get some of the 1800s ones, the Illustrated London News ones, some of them do pretty well. Also, what you can do, and what's really, really good with papers, is actually bundling them up. So, for example, the ones that aren't brilliant, like these Churchill ones, you can always do bundles of 5, maybe 6, 7 newspapers and do them for maybe 30 or 40 pound, maybe 50 pounds, something like that. Yeah. And I've got a sale from a bundle of those that I've done. So It depends. I mean, if you want a slower sale, you can do them individually for around a tenner.
1 second, Adam. Andrew, we're getting loads of feedback from you. I don't know what that is. Andrew, can you hear me? Can you mute yourself a minute?
I have no idea.
Yeah, don't know what.
I was wondering whether it was me actually.
No, it was feeding back to Andrew. All right, carry on. We'll see if it carries on.
So yeah, as I was saying, if you don't want to, like some of these ones, you can wait for around a tenner on, and you will get it. It will take a little bit longer. But if you want a quicker sale, you can just bundle them up and do them for a cheaper price. And then, you know, just get the sale pretty quickly. It just depends on what you want to do, really. But yeah, if you look for the ones that with famous celebrities that have died, some of those ones can do well. Now, there is this kind of myth that newspapers just aren't worth anything and that so many people stockpile them that none of them are worth anything. It's not the case. If you go on completing and solds, you will see that certain ones are worth a little bit of money, and then the really, really old ones can be worth some really decent money. So yeah, definitely just go and check it out and make yourself a little bit of money, because they go for really, really cheap at the auction houses, these big boxes of newspapers.
Fantastic. So you picked that up at auction. What did you say you paid? A tenner on the box?
£10 plus commission, and got 400. Well, I've got 400 of listed and sold about 130, 140. So
and was that a case of that looks interesting, I'm going to buy these to find out, or did you do a little?
Oh yeah, that's what I do, like 40 or 50% of the time. I really shouldn't, but yeah, I do that. If it's cheap, it's a tenner. If it's a tenner,
exactly. And I think the story you just told and the value that potentially is in that, it shows that perhaps you should do that, because you know, I think most of those gambles pay off. Yeah, and even the gambles that don't pay off, you'll learn what to do right next time anyway. So it still pays off, I think. Fantastic. Well, there we go. We've come to the end of the line, believe it or not, and we've still got 10 minutes until the hour. So if we can chat about whatever now. There was somebody saying that, Pete, I think you're not far off a milestone on your channel.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, that's Christine Davis. 50 subs needed to get to 1,000. I think it's now. I think I'm at 954.
Okay, there should. Oh, Pete's put a comment in the side chat there, so you can get that link and give Pete a quick sub. As I was saying before, there'll be links to everyone's channels below. I didn't have a minute to think about it and put them below right now, but if you see their name popping up in the side chat, you can just pop through and sub as well.
If Peter hits a milestone this stream, that would mean last stream Andrew hit 500. Pete will have hit 1,000 this time. I don't know if we're going to be able to top that next stream.
Well,
we'll have to see if we get George to 2,000.
Yep, true.
Well, I hope that format worked. I think it was quite interesting, actually, the diversity that people showed, and there was certainly stuff in there that I was clueless about before this evening. So that's fantastic. Let us know if you're watching this after the fact. Let us know what you thought below. Give us some feedback. Perhaps we could use this as a format, because I think it's great to share a little bit of knowledge that we have. I tend to be one of those people that has a little bit of knowledge about a lot of stuff, which can be dangerous. So yeah,
a quiz on everything we've just seen to make sure everyone was concentrating.
yeah,
we can.
Because I zone out every now and then.
Adele has just subbed to you, Peter, so we're getting traffic over to you. Fantastic. Now, did we discuss yet who's going to host the next one of these? I think we're going to try and go weekly. So does anyone?
It's Peter.
I think it was me. Yeah, going to do it next week
on your channel, Pete. Okay, fantastic.
Indeed. Yep.
So make sure you do go over and sub, and then you'll be notified for that one. Is it going to be? Do you know what day you're going to put it out?
I'll probably do the same time, because I think Monday at 9 o'clock. A lot of people can do that.
Okay. Well, we'll stick with that then.
I need to get my internet fixed before I host. Otherwise, I will be crispy HD and everyone else can be potatoes. So,
are you getting it upgraded or something? Or
I was kind of hoping it would be a bit better today, because I'm literally like, the router is right up here. So I was like, it's going to be crispy AF. It's going to be as crispy as possible, but that wasn't the case.
It's not terrible. You know, it's workable.
It's definitely not as bad as some of mine have been, Corey, to be fair.
Yeah, or look at some of my early ones. They're painful to watch.
How was the Amazon warehouse today, Andrew?
Yeah, it was an interesting experience going around there. For those who don't know, I went to the Amazon Academy today over in Manchester. Had a tour of the Amazon fulfillment center there. Had a chat with from various people who sell and do stuff on Amazon and some of the Amazon bigwigs. Basically learned from it that I need to focus on used goods when I sell on Amazon, just to avoid any sort of risk around getting bad or such like. I know wholesale is another option I might explore as well.
Are you doing Amazon yet at all, or are you just thinking about it?
I am just thinking about it at the minute, Nick. I'm thinking about a lot of things at the minute, and that's up there with the top of them.
Cool.
I'm surprised you managed to be so quiet tonight. The last stream, everyone was constantly just cutting in front of each other. I think we've done quite well.
We're learning slowly. No, I think that worked well.
Slick for episode 3.
What's that?
We'll be slick for episode 3.
We'll be slick. Yeah, by the time we get to 10, this will be a professional show, people.
We'll look like the seller ladies.
Well, I have access to a lot of women's clothes, so
we could do a cross-dress episode for 100th stream.
What was that, Andrew?
So we could do a cross-dressing episode for 100th stream.
For the 100th, that's it. Yeah, we could all say yes to that. In that, what's that? 100 weeks? That's 2 years. So yeah, let's all agree to that right now.
Do we really need a special occasion to cross-dress, or can we just do it next week?
Friday's good enough for me.
Yeah.
I can dye my beard blue for next week, and I'll be Lex.
What's that about Lex? Sorry.
I could dye my beard blue for next week, and I'll be Lex. If we're all going to dress up as the reseller ladies.
Go for it. Well, unless we have any more topics or questions come in, we could wrap this one up. Zoe just says, drags on tour, laugh out loud. Lola says, now we're talking. This is what the public want, people.
Who are Sissy and Ada? Ian wants me and you, Nick, to do Sissy and Ada or Kissy and Ada. I have no idea who they are. Before my time, that Ian.
Is that the who is it? 2 comedians from the 70s, 80s. Les Dawson. Was it them? I'm the only person on this whole panel who knows what I'm talking about now.
Well, I'm still in my 20s.
Are you? No, you're not, are you?
I'm 35 I'm 35 next month. Speaking of which, if anyone wants to come to the Wrexham Resellers meetup, that's June the 15th at 3 o'clock.
35. You're almost dead.
Whoa, hang on. I'm 45. I mean, steady on.
I thought you were 46.
Am I 46? I honestly wouldn't know. Hang on. I think I'm 46 this year. Yeah, see, Ads knows more than I do. Yeah. Quickly before we go, I know Sean Dog has asked a question 2 or 3 times and we haven't looked at it. Does anybody ever find some of the dealers at car boots aggressive and rude, and tips on how to deal with them? I would say if you're ever dealing with anyone who's aggressive and rude, just be ultra polite back, because they don't know how to handle it. I don't know if anyone else has got a tip.
I was going to say the exact same. You just want to kill them with kindness, really, don't you? It's the best way to make, if someone's making you feel offended, the best way to make them feel bad is by being nice back to them.
Is that dealers, like selling dealers or buying dealers, though?
I assumed he meant people selling, but I don't know. It doesn't specify.
I haven't really come across an aggressive dealer that's selling, really.
Yeah, similar actually, George. I've had, when I've been selling, I've had people aggressively haggling at me, and in that case, I think you just stand your ground.
Yeah. Just raise your price if they get aggressive.
Yeah, I've seen that done a few times. Okay, well, I think we'll wrap this up if everybody is done with questions. Hang on, there's another one there. Oh, it's asking about biggest sale to date from all of you. Should we do that to end on?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Okay. Mine has been mentioned far too many times to be interesting. Quickly, an Atari card sold for just over £5,000, and I'm never going to beat it. So that's out there. I paid £1. Well, let's go down the line as we did before. Steve, share with us your biggest sale.
Mine was I think it was £120 ski jacket.
Nice.
Cost me like £7.50. I can't remember what the brand was.
Okay. Pete?
Trying to think. For me, it was a brand new boxed Wii. Got it out a couple of years ago with a car boot. Cost me £5. I believe I got 100, 110, something like that. When they're worth a little bit more.
Yeah, that's not bad for a Wii then, is it?
Yeah, it was boxed and brand new and sealed.
Fantastic. Yeah, I've found a quick tip with Wii's. If you fire them up and it's got loads of software downloaded onto it from the Nintendo store, you can mention all of that in your listing and get a premium for it. So that's worth looking out for. Andrew?
Camper van. Cost me £1,800. Sold it for £28.50.
Nice. Did you buy that intentionally to flip?
Not intentionally, but I ended up flipping it about 2 months after I bought it.
Fair enough. I had a camper van that I didn't buy to flip, but I sold that on eBay. That's my biggest ever sale. I think we got £8,000 for it. But I only basically just got back what we invested in it. So it wasn't a money-making thing at all. George, this will be interesting.
I've got a collective bigger sale and then a single item. But if it's single item, it's the Rupert Bear money charity box thing from last year. It's one of them, like they're normally outside charity shops or post offices. You put your coins in. Yeah, the shape of Rupert Bear. What did I pay? I think it was £50 for my local boot sale, and I listed it for silly money, like £9.95, and someone paid me £7.50 through my Facebook page, and no fees on that at all.
Wow.
700, yeah, 700 profit. I let them have the postage for free. And then collective sale, I bought 200 Bop It pens, new and sealed, for 400, and they went for 1,800, I think, like for 200 of them.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Derek?
Yeah, one single sale was a CB radio set I got from auction. I think I got £650 for that. But I did have a £2,500 ka-ching once. That was for a set of 10 sort of. They were electrical rectifiers. I still don't really know what they were actually used for, but I got a big job lot of them. Yeah, so that was my biggest sort of one ka-ching. But one actual item was the CB radios for £650. Yeah.
Fantastic. Is there still a market for CB then? I guess there is then.
Yeah.
Yeah, there seems to be. I don't know a lot about it. It was based on the model numbers, and it had like the aerial. The aerial mast was worth about £200 on its own, I think.
Wow.
But I sold it as one job lot, thing. So, yeah.
That's it. That's another thing to add to my mental list, which keeps spilling out of my ears because I can't keep it all in. Corey?
I'm pretty sure my biggest sale to date was the Reselling videos that managed to break up a marriage for £250, I think. And I'm pretty sure I paid £20 for them at the car boot. 99 Reselling videos that, yeah, pretty sure broke up a marriage, which was a interesting sale. But
yeah. So VHSs then?
Yeah, VHS tapes, like vintage VHS. I got the idea from Ben Fitzpatrick. I saw that he had recently sold a bundle for about 40, and then the day afterwards, I went to the car boot and found boxes of them, picked them all up, and sold them a few days afterwards. So
that's perfect when you see somebody talking about something and there it is in front of you the next day. What are the chances? So is the point there that there were shows that haven't been bought out on DVD, so they're collected in that sense? Was that the reason why, do you think?
I assume so. I'm not too sure, to be honest, because I know individually they're not really worth selling. They're only really worth selling if you've got a big enough bundle to kind of justify listing them.
Right.
I didn't do too much research into it, if I'm going to be honest. So
Yeah, because I mean, I sold a random Airwolf DVD that I shipped out today for $12.99 on VHS. I think people are starting to collect them a bit more. It seems to be 80s classics are really good.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's why I guess that's why people still buy VHS players, really, isn't it? Because they want to be able to watch like family films and things like that. So VHS players are still, there's a big market for them. There's a really big market for VHS players.
definitely.
I sell VHS videos as well. I've got half a rental store in my garage at the minute.
Oh dear. Okay, Adam, we're going to finish on you.
I seem to get this question loads on GT. I don't know why, but it seems like they always answer it. And
Stop it, Steve. Stop it.
what?
No, I think it's what I said.
What?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Carry on.
Yeah, but I got a Harry Potter cinematic journey seen it for a £5 at a charity shop like 2 years ago, something like that. And I got 150 quid on Amazon for it. So I was pretty happy with that.
Wow. Was that sealed, did you say?
Yeah, sealed, yeah.
Ah, okay, that makes sense. Okay, fantastic. Right, we're going to wrap this one up because we've been on long enough. So next week then, we're going to move over to Peter Ray's channel.
Yes.
Go over and check that out now. Make sure to sub. Everybody here does have a channel. I'm going to link everybody's channel below. So please go and give some support. Until next time, thanks everybody who's watched us live. Thanks for the questions and comments. And thanks to everyone on the panel. Appreciate you joining me.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Later.
Take care, guys.